My name is Tom Boyer, and I'm the director of GapLink International. In this essence, I am the petitioner on behalf of us all, particularly on the issue of Lake Nakuru National Park, where we've had disappearances of persons claimed to be fishermen within Lake Nakuru National Park. The reasons why we did request the Senate to come to Nakuru was for us to have an opportunity to sit together and see what are the needs, what are the issues that are arising. For me, mine was a very simple thing. Like a person with an envelope, you open that envelope, then you get the contents. The contents are actually with Nakuru people, be it the civil society, be it the media, be it the people who interact with the community on a daily basis, including and not limited to the security teams of Nakuru. Today was a special day. We were grateful, we were expecting, we were so much expectant. And according to our program for the day, they were to come, courtesy call, and then introduction of teams. Then we go to the site within the Lake Nakuru National Park. We see where the people have been displaced and the need for compensations. The second bit was for us now, both in Nakuru Town East and in Nakuru Town East, as much as they've been affected. The next for us was to now have a forum where everybody who has been affected would have been able to talk. Those who had written petitions would have been able to converge and bring those petitions and talk deeply on what has hurt them. Well, 50% was done, was good. But towards the end, we have a concern. Why did we write a petition all the same? Was for us to have a conversation. The Senate chose Friday, which is today, knowing that tomorrow is a weekend. We wished that they'd done this communication earlier or even pushed it to a convenient time so that probably they would have like 2 days to be able to do this. But again, we also have what has been of a concern to us. When we have the Security Council speak, they first have their own meeting, they decide, and they share. Well, they have their own intelligence, we appreciate that, because it's for our own good. But on the other hand, the civil society also have got their concerns. What we wished was we have a harmony of program of the day. Now it has been more like the program of the day has been taken more by the Security Council than with the public. I am sad to say that a big and a large crowd today had gathered, maybe you can confirm for yourselves, at Kamukunji grounds in Nakuru. A big number with expectations. In fact, to us, the appearance of the Senate at that place would have been a healing process. But now when they are left without communication, it brings more questions than answers. Well, we are prayerful that we will have a solution, because our main interest and our clarion call is for us to have a conversation, we have a way forward, and we move together as a team. Well, I might not say much, but like I said, an envelope, when you open, there are contents. No. The members with me here are members with contents that will be able to speak, each individually, for a particular cause.
Now, tell us what was the plan to visit Kochini. Why you wanted the Senate to visit the area?
The reason why we wanted the Senate to visit the Nakuru in general, and particularly the park. You are all aware that there's been siltation in Lake Nakuru National Park. So the depth of the lake has been compromised. And so the shallowness definitely pushes the water outside the Lake Nakuru National Park. The waters have gone outside the park, outside the fence, to people's homes. We know definitely the people who are there had to move to higher grounds. So that place has been claimed by water. But even when they go back to maybe salvage some of the things that they left behind, could be, then they meet fish, they meet other things. Then they have the right to pick that and cook. So what is the issue of going there to confirm this, so that if the Senate will work towards compensation, then at least they've seen what is the problem that they can work towards compensation. But when they return back without going to the site, then that becomes an issue. How will they compensate people without having visited the site? Because what we don't want is a compromised process. What we want, let's ban the resources. They are not coming on their personal money. They are coming on public resources. Let them do an extensive job by going and dealing with issues the way they are.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Masese. We petitioned the Senate on various human rights violations around Lake Nakuru, and specifically we wanted the Senate to investigate into enforced disappearances and extrajudicial killings of persons, especially young people, alleged to be involved in illegal fishing in the Lake Nakuru. This petition was submitted way back in July, but the day before yesterday, the primary petitioner at home received communication from the committee responsible. That's the Committee of National Security, Foreign Relations, that they would be coming to Nakuru to listen to us and other stakeholders pertaining to the petition. The communication that we received is that the committee would visit two sites, one in Nakuru Town East and another in Nakuru Town West. So we went out of our way to work with communities and prepare them to come and give their perspectives and engage the committee. We were supposed to have first meeting at 9 a.m. at the County Commissioner's office, and then proceed to first to Nakuru Town West, a site in Parkview location, and then Nakuru Town East, a site at Manyani area where Brian was seen last before he was allegedly arrested by KWS Rangers. Finally, we are supposed to have a public forum at Kamukunji grounds where members of the community would come and ventilate, share the experiences with the KWS. That was the program, the way it was shared with us, and we used that program to prepare the ground. Unfortunately, the committee arrived a bit late, so the first, as they told us, had a meeting at the county governor's office, then proceeded to a meeting at the county commissioner's office with the county security committee. That meeting took inordinately long. I think it was almost 2+ hours. So finally, when they came to engage us, they more or less rushed us, but I must say we had the opportunity to share the critical issues that we thought are relevant. We did engage the committee and urged them to constitute or institute a commission of inquiry into extrajudicial killings, investigate scientifically why we have rising waters in the lake, and more importantly, do a research to determine whether or not the fish in the lake is suitable for human consumption, so that then that becomes the basis for policy, legal, and administrative actions. Unfortunately, when we finished, the chair of the committee, Madam Fatuma Duro, had agreed that we are going to visit at least one site. And we agreed that site would be in Nakuru Town West, where the inundation has taken over families and farmlands. The policemen, out of nowhere, started raising insecurity concerns, claiming that the community members in Nakuru Town West, in Parkview, in Parut, were planning to cause chaos. Something that we know and we believe would not have happened. So this whole idea about the police preventing the committee from visiting the site in our book is about police not wanting to be exposed, because the issues we are prosecuting, they begin and end with police. The security team should have allowed the committee to go and see by themselves the situation on the ground, so that when they go to Nairobi, they have seen what brought them to Nakuru. It's unfortunate they traveled all the way from Nakuru to meet us in a boardroom. The people of Nakuru, the ones being affected by this situation, have not had an opportunity to share with the committee the violations they have had to endure at the hands of KWS, at the hands of the police. So in saying that there was going to be chaos, the police and the security team effectively cushioned and shielded themselves from public scrutiny. And my call to Fatuma Duro, being the chair of the committee, and Senator Tom Ojienda, who were here on behalf of the committee, is that they need to give a special opportunity to the community of Nakuru to ventilate and to shed light on what the excesses of the police and the KWS. It's unfortunate that they listen to the police and not listen to the people. In fact, we left the compound of the county commissioner when they had said we were proceeding to Parkview, only for them to play cat and mouse. They left us stranded on the streets. I've never seen leaders running away from people. I'm actually astonished that the police create problems that do not exist just so that they can cushion themselves from public scrutiny. So I take great offense that we have spent the entire day yesterday, almost the whole night preparing for the committee, only for them just to leave people stranded. Kamukunji, there were huge crowds of people waiting for them. Across there was a team of community elders, wazee wa mtaani, waiting for the Senate committee. There was no such incident as people causing chaos that was going to happen. So it's unfortunate, and we hope the committee is going to present an opportunity to the people of Nakuru to ventilate. But we also hope that having listened to us, they are going to take seriously the recommendations we give to them, and they are going to constitute a commission of inquiry. And the people responsible for the disappearance of Brian Odhiambo are going to be arrested, and they are going to be brought to book. We pray and hope that the family of Brian Odhiambo will have closure and they will see justice at the end of the day. We pray and believe that the families whose daughters and sons have been violated, either by being disappeared, being killed, or even being sexually assaulted, they will receive justice and the perpetrators will be brought to book. We have hope that Senator Ojienda and Senator Fatuma will take seriously the matters we raised with them and the recommendations we made. We will follow up to them. At least they are our representatives and we have mechanisms to follow up with them. But their act of disappearing on us, that was unwarranted, that was uncalled for, that was unfortunate.
Not only that, so maybe I just add one more thing before we must. One of the things that happened that made us stop the meeting today, because we had more still to ventilate at that boardroom level. What did they tell us? That we stop the meeting so that we can rush before it rains. So every other thing was shelved for us to get the opportunity to do what? Go to the site. Now, if we had to stop that, and now we did not go even to the site, what was the need for us to stop the meeting or rush the meeting and leave us halfway? Thank you.
And just like my seniors, especially the duty bearers within Nakuru County, as an active citizen, that we have Article 48 of our Constitution of Kenya, whereby it talks about guarantees each and every citizen who feels like his or her right has been violated has a right to access justice. And that is our own interest, our own interest as HRDs, human rights defenders within Nakuru County. We just plead for the government, for all the duty bearers responsible, to ensure that all these victims within Nakuru, within Lake Nakuru incidents have got justice, and the perpetrators, the criminals, have been brought to books. Yeah. So we just want to assure, because today what we have observed is something that is uncalled for, like just like my seniors have spoke about, because we had a very good program. Yeah, I'm one of the person that who looked at the program very well, and so it was supposed to end on and around 5 in the evening. But it's unfortunate that it's around 1 or 2 p.m. that the meeting was ended abruptly. We were to proceed to the crime scene. But it's unfortunate, but what we want to remind our duty bearers within Nakuru, that justice, will ensure that justice have been found. Thank you.
Thank you very much, watu wa Nakuru. We are here today in Nakuru as a Committee of National Security and Foreign Relations from the Senate because of a petition by one Tom Odhiambo, a human rights defender, who has petitioned disappearance of one Brian from Nakuru County, and also several forced disappearance by youths who are doing fishing in Lake Nakuru. Now we had a meeting with the county government of Nakuru County. We had a meeting with them, and we have established that there is very little they have to do with the park, because that is not a licensed area for fishing, because it's a protected area. We had a meeting with the security team here, the county security team, as far as the forced disappearance and also disappearance of Brian. We have established preliminary investigation and information that we have. Brian disappeared in the hands of KWS officers. Now there are 6 officers who are actually in court as far as disappearance of Brian is concerned. Again, although security agencies are saying that they don't have reported cases of forced disappearance, but human rights defenders are saying there are forced disappearance that are not reported, that they are unable to produce evidence that is taking place as far as fishing of youth is concerned. We have also established there is conflict between human and wildlife, because the park is not fenced properly. The river has actually expanded its bank. People are displaced. There are people who are put together as far as compensation is concerned. The list keeps on expanding, so there is no solution yet. But there are many people, over 500 people, who are displaced as far as Lake Nakuru is concerned. Again, there is youth unemployment in Nakuru County, where there is fish in the lake. It's a protected area, and they are seeing food in the lake. There is no way that they can stop, fishing in the lake. Something needs to be done as far as the law is concerned, so that at least either the fence should be protected, the people should be compensated, or there should be a way of complementing the two, the park and also fishing. But again, we have gotten an information that was not there before, where the fish from Lake Nakuru is unfit for human consumption because of explosion from the factories. We are informed also the same fish finds itself in Kisumu and ends up in Nairobi in big hotels. Nobody can differentiate. So we urge Ministry of Health, Fisheries Department to look into that, to make sure that people are not actually affected as a result of fishing in Lake Nakuru. Now we have had a sitting with human rights defenders. They have raised a lot of issues where cases that they pick doesn't have evidences, it doesn't go anywhere. We have instructed KWS to give us evidence of the officers, whether they should have been, they have been interdicted or not. But we got confirmation that the 6 officers are interdicted. They're actually standing trial. So we'll follow up all those evidences, and I can brief the media. The real issue that we are picking here is disappearance of Brian, compensation, how the fish from Lake Nakuru can be protected from human consumption, how the fence of Lake Nakuru National Park should be protected, how those people are going to be compensated. We will have a meeting with all relevant institutions as a committee to make sure that our youth and the people neighboring the park are safe, and Brian and the family have gotten justice. I will stop at that. If my colleagues have anything to add, they can add. Thank you very much.
Brian Odhiambo, that we shall ensure that we get to the root of this matter. We will hear all stakeholders in Nairobi to ensure that we have a report that will lead to a finding. A finding, of course, I know culpability is being handled by the courts, but at least compensation, because government agencies must bear a sense of responsibility so that we do not see this recur or happen again around Lake Nakuru. Thank you.
Mheshimiwa, how can you ensure that this process does not interfere with the...
No. We are alive to the sub judice rule. We are lawyers, and we will ensure that in hearing stakeholders, we will deal with the substantive questions of specific roles of entities, including KWS, without interfering with the legalities in the court.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. Give us the details of your visit today. Where else are you going?
We want to visit the lake just to appreciate. We know that there are rising lake levels. We just want to appreciate where the level of displacement, so that we will, even as we deal with the Brian Odhiambo case, deal with other issues that have been raised around the lake. It's an important environmental question for all of us.
You can hear your senator.
Tangu hii maneno ya Brian itokee in January, najua as a senator of Nakuru County nilipeleka petition kule Senate na in February 18th, na mimi ni kugoja majibu kutoka kwa the Senate committee. Na sasa nataka kusema nimefurahia leo sana kwa vile wamekuja hapa, wamesikiza kutoka kwa security, tumesikiza vile security ilichukua hii mata, human rights nao wote vile wamepigania hii mata ya Brian. Na yangu ni kusema na kuambia the family of Brian, the mother, the wife, the sister here, that tutatupumzika mpaka Brian apate justice. Na najua kuna shida kwa sababu ya hiyo lake, vile chair amesema, the illegal fishing ndio inafanya watu wetu wauawe. Kwa hivyo tutaangalia sheria zote zile zitakuwa zina protect watu wetu, so that wa benefit na hiyo lake. Na hii maneno ya kuwa fishi yetu ni mbaya, tumesikia hapo ni kwa sababu ya pollution ile inawekwa kwa hiyo lake. Kwa hivyo fishi yetu haitaki kuwa mbaya, ni pollution. Na mnakumbuka hata tumekuwa na court orders na nini, koti ikikataza watu kuweka pollution ama kuweka takataka ile inatoka kwa industry inaweka kwa lake. Kwa hivyo yangu ni kusema nimefurahia sana kuwa hapa leo, kwa sababu najua tumepigania hii maneno sana ya Brian, na najua imekuwa very depressing to the family and also to the Nakuru people kuona ati mtu wetu anaweza enda pale kwa lake akitafuta tu chakula hata ya kukula, alafu nyumae anauawa ama anadisappear, na hata saa hii hatujui hata mwili yake iko wapi. Lakini vile tumejiona hata DCI tunatakiwa kuipongeza, hata mimi sikujua hivyo. Wamefanya kazi mzuri sana kwa sababu wali take this matter, na hata the final witness ni atakuwa Monday this week, next week, anatoa witness yake hiyo. Kwa hivyo DCI wamechukua hii matter, haijawachiliwa. Lakini sisi as a senators also we take it up, we'll get our own ruling. The compensation must be there for even Brian, so that the family can get a closure of this matter. But I know the closure cannot be done till we get the Brian himself, whether dead or alive. Kwa hivyo yangu nafikiri kufurahia tu kusema I'm happy that the matter now we can see it's moving somewhere. Kwa sababu imekuwa hivyo, tunadai na koti za hapa kwetu Nakuru, tukiona sasa Senate imechukua, DCI naye amechukua, tunaona at least Brian atapata justice. And as a senator sitapumuzika. Tuwe huku na committee ya Senate ya security na juge kumariria uhoro wa Brian waumirire ku January. Niĩ ta senator ndoire uhoro uyu na ngitwara Senate in February mweri 18 2025, na nĩ njũĩ atĩ njokerie ngatho human rights tondũ ũhoro ndũrĩ wa ndũrĩ warekwo ũkome. Nĩ tũbaitanĩte naguo, nĩ tũhũranĩte naguo andũ a human rights, na rĩu ona ndona nginya borithi onacio nĩ itĩkĩte up, onacio no ireka atĩ no irahũrana. No rĩu kuona senate gũkũ especially ya security, nĩ tũrona rĩu ũhoro ũyũ nĩ ũkũgĩa na kĩ na solution. Na ndarora nyina wa Brian haha na mutumia wake, kĩrĩa ithuĩ tũkũfight na tũgũtigĩrĩra nĩ atĩ nĩ magĩa na justice ya mwana wao wĩtagwo Brian. Ithuĩ ta andũ a Nakuru nĩguo tũhone tondũ nĩ ũndũ watũgire mũno. Njoke njuge ũhoro wa Lake ĩno ya Nakuru ndĩngĩkorwo ĩgĩtuĩka atĩ nĩyo gĩkuũ gitũ, gĩkuũ gĩa ciana citũ magĩthiĩ gũcaria kĩndũ gĩa kũrĩa, tondũ thamaki kũndũ guothe Lake Victoria Naivasha nĩ irategwo, no gũkũ gwitũ mũndũ aingĩra hau gũtega agatuĩka nĩ irigo. Koguo nĩ tũkũrora mawatho marĩa magĩrĩire gwĩkwo nĩguo mahote kũ protect andũ arĩa mathiĩ gũtega thamaki kũu. Kuma hau rĩ, thamaki citũ nĩ irerwo atĩ ti njega, ti for human consumption, no nĩ tondũ wa gĩko kĩrĩa kĩraitĩrĩrwo iria-inĩ rĩu. Koguo nao no tũkũhũrana, twĩte NEMA, twĩte all the ministries kuhakikisha gĩko gĩtigũcoka gũitĩrĩrwo thĩinĩ wa iria, nĩguo thamaki citũ ciĩke cikorwo ci thamaki njega cia kũrĩo nĩ andũ. Na nĩ njũĩ Lake Nakuru nĩyo ĩ thamaki iria nyingĩ thĩinĩ wa Kenya, gũtirĩ iria rĩngĩ rĩna thamaki nyingĩ ũguo na thamaki fresh. Koguo meaning no nginya tũhũrane na andũ acio marekĩra gĩko thĩinĩ wa iria nĩguo gũkorwo atĩ thamaki citũ nĩ gũkorwo ci fit na ithuĩ tũ benefit. Koguo noguo ingiuga na nĩ twakena nĩ ũndũ wa senate gũka ya security, na nĩ njũĩ after that nĩ tũkuona justice ya Brian. Thank you. Asante.